literally hundreds of thousands of people are being faced with the same thing every year on a yearly basis. And I know that number sounds extreme, but here's what happens. People put their home on the market, and 39% of the homes that get placed on the market with a real estate agent don't sell. Perhaps you're one of those. In this video, I'm going to share with you from my experience of 30 years in the business and having sold over 4,000 houses. And this video is not about me, it's about you, the homeowner, and you, the real estate agent, because I'm going to teach you real estate agents exactly what I did from just hard knocks. And if you're a real estate agent, give me a thumbs up if you know this. You know this, and that is that real estate is like the blind leading the blind. There's nothing more frustrating. You may say it tongue-in-cheek, whatever, but you go to work for these brokerage companies and it's no different. They all seem big, they all seem fancy, but nobody's giving you leads, nobody's teaching you anything. There's not a whole lot of training that's going on, although I have seen one, the company that I'm with, because I shut my doors down basically of 18 years as an independent brokerage. But if you own a home, you're looking to sell your home, there's 5 reasons why homes don't sell. So many people right now are faced with a dilemma. Put the house on the market, 6 months, never heard back from the agent, never gave me feedback. Where'd they go? What happened? Never seen the marketing, never seen what they did. It's because the average real estate agent only sells about 5 houses a year right now. It's a very easy business to get into. It takes you about $1,000 and literally just about 30 days worth of schooling that you can take online from a closet in your house. It's very frustrating, low entry level. I joke and tell people that it takes you literally more money and time to get a license to be a beautician. In most states, it's like $20,000 to $25,000 and a whole year of schooling. So, to get your house sold, 5 reasons why they don't sell. Price, condition, terms, location, and the agent that you select. And you as a homeowner have power over 4 of them. The only one that you don't have really power of is your location. If you're on a busy street, if you're around a school, if you're close to commercial facilities or anything like that, those homes tend to be a little bit less desirable because people don't want to deal with the busy road, the commercial, you get all that. But the rest you can. The agent that you hire, the price, the terms and condition. I'm going to share with you, and today, if you're selling a house in 2026, what you need to be doing. First and foremost, you need to make sure the price is right. And how you do that, you don't just rely on a real estate agent to do comparable properties. If you have an agent that comes out and looks at your house and says, you need to do this and this and this. And so many agents, I get it, if you're a real estate agent, it's hard to tell that person that they need to clean up, they need to pick up, they need to spruce up. But listen, I learned the hard way. I listed a lot of houses that didn't sell because the people were like, tell me what's wrong. And I'd be like, oh, it looks fine. It's like, but you have to tell them every little thing. Homeowners have to know this, and hang in there with me because I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do on a list by list basis. So grab a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to want to write some of this stuff down. You got to condition the property, you got to price it right. If you're concerned about the price, I always tell people, when in doubt, get a real estate appraiser to come out. Pay them $400 to $500. Tell them, hey, I want a price for my home that it's going to sell within the next 6 months. That way they put a price on it and they're not ballooning it. But here's what you also need to do. This is very, very important, and so many people don't do this. Make a list of all the improvements that you've made on your property, because they're going to compare your home to other homes that have closed, get this, that have closed in the last 6 months within a 3-mile radius of your home. Doesn't matter the condition of the house or anything like that. They are going to look at, are they in very well condition? Are they in poor condition? Are they in excellent condition? They're not going to compare a pre-existing home to a new home, of course, but they're going to look at all of these. And they also need a list. So what happens is, once you give them a list, say, hey, we put a brand new fence in, we put a brand new roof in, we remodel the kitchen, remodel the bath, whatever it may be, they take that in consideration. So then they're looking at other properties that have closed, that have actually won the game, you know. Then they put a price on your property. At that point, you can price your property accordingly. You can price it a little bit less than appraised value and market it and promote it and have your agent do that. It's literally marketed, being sold less than appraised value. And listen, put a copy of the appraisal on the kitchen counter. People are going to come into your house and they're going to look at the appraiser and they're going to be like, well, listen, I'm not overpaying because they had it appraised. Now, keep in mind, this is something that you don't have to do, because most people don't realize that the database that real estate agents use is the same database that appraisers use. So it's not the appraiser's database, it's actually real estate agents' databases, because when a house is listed, you put it in the multiple listing service, as they call it. Once it goes there, it gets syndicated to all the other websites, but that's the place where everything gets documented. House is listed, house is pending, under contract, it's sold, days on the market, condition, all that, right? It's in there. That's what the real estate appraisers go by. So a really good real estate agent that has the experience, and I'm going to give you a list of questions, the top 5 questions you need to ask every agent before you hire an agent here in just a second. But that way you know that the price is right. Morning. the price is right, and you're not overpriced. The last thing you want to do is to be an overpriced house, because then it becomes shop worn and people think, well, what's wrong with this house? It's been on the market for 6 months and it hadn't sold. You start getting lowball offers. Have it appraised. If you don't want to have it appraised, have a really good agent give you a good determination of value. Now the next thing, and this is really important, this is one of the top ones, and this is the reason. Listen, there's 2 reasons. Write this down. There's 2 reasons, the biggest reasons. I don't care what anybody says. I've been doing this for 30 years. There's 2 reasons why homes don't close, why homes don't sell. If you get a contract on that house, there's 2 reasons why that home falls through. The buyer's financing or the condition of the house. You understand? The buyer's financing, condition of the house. You're selling your house, you're a real estate agent, I don't care who you are, make sure you have a copy of the approval letter. If people don't want to get approved, just say next, 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 next. Anybody that's been around me for 30 years, say Wayne says next. Because I don't like to sit still, man. I like to move and shake and make things happen, and I think people respect that from me, because I circle myself around agents around the country that do the same thing, so we connect sellers and buyers and all that good stuff, so it happens. But those are the 2 reasons, and you have to have the home inspected before you list the home for sale. Listen to me, it will save you so much time, so much stress, so much headache, and most importantly, money and time on the market. Because once you have it inspected, you know what's wrong with it. I can't tell you how many times people are like, I had no idea I had a water leak. I had no idea the commode was leaking. I had no idea they were running the faucet, the rotted wood. And you listen, you can have it inspected, but this is what I always tell people to do. Have it inspected, right? If you got a well, have it inspected. Got a septic system, have it inspected. Literally ask top real estate agents. If you don't have one, we can connect you one at contactwayne.com. You can reach out to us and say, hey, I'm looking to sell my house. And it doesn't matter if it's an estate sale, it doesn't matter if you're a builder and it's a new home, it doesn't matter if it's pre-existing, it doesn't matter if you're relocating. We connect you with the best agents, of course. Shameless plug, you know. But what it boils down to is the condition and the approval. So you have to get it inspected. Once it's inspected, you're going to have everything fixed. It's really simple just to have everything fixed. You can call a top agent, say, hey, do you know a handyman? Or do a little research and find somebody. Just ask around. You need somebody that's licensed, bonded, and insured is going to come in your house and fix those things. Once they're fixed, this is really important. You take a copy of the home inspection and put it on the kitchen table and the receipts of the repairs that you've made. That way when somebody comes through your house, they see the appraiser. If you had it appraised, you don't have to. But most importantly, they see it inspected. If you ask me which one is more important, I'm going to tell you have it inspected, because a good real estate agent, they're going to show you the comparable properties. And this is what's really important, really, really important. I don't like to go off pieces of paper, because pieces of paper can be easily misstrued, because it's literally just a matter of that agent checking a checkbox and not including a house that's sold that may be a little bit more expensive. And I know they do it. And this is why I tell people, hire an agent, make sure you got an agent that brings a laptop computer or an iPad and shows you homes that have sold in real time on a computer, so they can't adjust anything with a piece of paper, and you actually see it on your computer. You see it on their computer, right? So they can show you. Then, here's what's really cool. Color makes a big difference. So now you're looking at a computer, you're looking at color photographs, you're looking at the kitchens, the baths, and everything. It makes more sense. And as a real estate agent out there, if you're listening to me, if you're not doing that, you need to. It's really, really simple. You have a phone, you have an iPhone. You make sure that your phone has a hotspot. That's an internet connection. You can connect your hotspot, really simple, to your laptop or your iPad. If you're not familiar how to do that, literally you can go to Google and ask Google how to connect my laptop computer on my phone. Like literally, it's called a hotspot. How to connect the hotspot on my phone. So then they come out and they look at the picture, they're showing you pictures, all this good stuff, right? Hanging there with me, it's good. Showing you pictures, then you can justify, okay, the price is right. They get the home inspected, you get the home inspected, it's done, it's right, repairs are done. Then you can market the home as it's been pre-inspected. Nothing you can do is offer home warranties. But listen, when it comes down to it, it's price, it's condition, it's terms, location, and the agent you select. So you got to select a good agent. We talked a little bit about price. Now let's talk on terms. Let's talk on terms, because people don't realize that if you have a VA loan and you're a seller, somebody can assume your loan. If you have an FHA loan, somebody can assume your loan. And it's so important to know that 64% of the homes right now that have, 64% of the homes that have a mortgage have less than a 5.25% interest rate. For 14 years, they never made the mortgage rates go over, listen to me, they never made the mortgage rates go over 5.25%. If you're watching this and you have a mortgage there's a huge chance that you have a rate that's less than 5.25%. If you do, simply put yes or no. Just comment yes or no. We need involvement for everybody, so this helps, and these videos like this help people. I don't charge anybody for this information. I just believe in you learn it, and you master it, and then you teach it. When you know that people have all of these loans that are mortgages below 5.25%, they can assume the loan. If you're a veteran, you have a VA loan, you do not have to be a veteran for someone to assume your loan. If you're a buyer out there, you can assume a VA loan. Here's what happens though for the seller and the buyer. The buyer, you got to come up with the difference in the equity. If they bought that house for $200,000 and now they're selling it for $350,000, well, you got to bring $50,000 to the table. And it's not really that, it's very technical. If they bought it for $300,000, they've paid down to say $290,000 over the last 3 or 4 years. Now their balance is $290,000, it's worth $350,000. You see the difference, you got to make up $60,000. You're bringing the equity to the seller. Now the seller, if you're a veteran, you have to know that you can only have one house at a time. So what happens is now you got to look at, okay, well, I did a VA loan, I'm going to go do another VA loan, but now you've got it tied up in that house. So you got to make sure if you're going to sell and buy another house, you may not want to do that. You know, buyer caution on that set. But you can offer terms. I can't tell you how many times, and if you're real estate agents out there, you'll probably agree. If so, give me a yes, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and that is, you've said, you call a seller and say, hey, they want you to pay your closing costs. I'm not paying anybody's closing costs. They can pay their own damn closing costs. Listen to me. This is so important. If it means you net the same amount of money at closing cost doesn't matter, because they're subtracting it. The closing attorney is subtracting it from your closing, your proceeds. It's no difference whatsoever. The only difference is, if, for example, you sell a house for $300,000, you pay $10,000 in closing costs, you're netting $290,000. If you sell the house for $300,000 and you don't pay any closing costs, you're still selling, you're netting the same amount of money. Are you with me? $290,000 with closing costs, $290,000 without closing costs, $300,000, it doesn't matter, you're netting. The difference is the real estate brokerage fee, because the real estate brokerage fee is based on the sales price. But you can simply ask your agent, because we do this, simply ask your agent, say, hey, would you let me pay you? Would you take a commission on just the net sale? Most of them are gladly to do that, and it saves you $300 or $400 right there, of course, depending on the price of the house. You also have to know that by paying closing costs, you open up an opportunity for so many more buyers to buy your house. Even if it's a $500,000 home, because the average price of a house right now is running between $450,000 and $500,000 around the country. But just by paying closing costs, because closing costs are going to run you 3.5%. So if you've got 3.5% in closing costs, you buy a $500,000 home, literally you're looking at $17,000 in addition to a down payment. Now somebody can put 3.5% down and buy a $500,000 house. They can put 5% down and buy get a conventional loan. But offering closing costs opens the door for more buyers, and that's what it's all about. You want to make sure it's marketed and promoted, and you can advertise that. Seller can, not that you will, but you can. Use the word can. I can pay your closing costs. That doesn't mean that I will, because you got to bring me an offer that is pleasing to me, and if we can get it all hashed out, worked out, then I can pay your closing costs. So that's a big word. Agents, listen, write that down. Can pay your closing costs. Seller can pay your closing costs. So now that we touched on terms, we touched on price, let's touch on condition. I can't emphasize enough, the neatest, cleanest house is always going to be the next one to sell. You want to make sure the dog beds are out, the dog beds are clean, the cat litter boxes are out, everything's out of the house. I can't emphasize enough. People do not want to buy your stuff. They don't want to see. I tell everybody, get everything out and make it as clean as possible. Even closets. I'd rather have it boxed up in the attic. I'd rather have it boxed up in the garage. I'd rather have it boxed up and put it in a storage unit. Go rent a U-Haul for a day and just move a lot of your personal stuff out. You don't have to take pictures off the walls and things of personal items and decor. I mean, gosh, there's home builders all around the country that spend $100,000+ just decorating their model homes to look like it's lived in. Because you have to understand, buyers buy on emotion. Buyers buy on emotion. We all make so many decisions off emotion, so they're going to look at the house. The next house that's going to sell is going to be the cleanest house. So literally you start from the outside, you trim the shrubs, clean your windows. I can't emphasize enough. Go get the bottle of the Windex stuff, connects it to a hose pipe, clean the windows real good. Clean the roof. If you have anything that looks like it's made stripes on your roof, that's not mold, that's just a little mildew where it's not getting a whole lot of sun. You can have somebody come out that does pressure washing, they'll do that. They'll spray a solution on your roof. The next time it rains, it washes it all off. It's so simple. But a buyer, when they see that, they think, oh, the roof is gone. No, it's not, even though you had it inspected. Listen, in order for somebody to buy your house, you got to get them through the front door. And the first showing on your house, if you listen to me, please, the first showing on your house are the photographs and the video. If they don't like the photographs, they're not going to go into a house. I can tell you, I've been there and done that. I've bought many homes, and there's houses that I've missed out on and almost missed out on because I said, I'm not buying that house. And the pictures are just horrible. But I can tell you this, if an agent takes horrible pictures and you don't like it, call them and say, hey, can you have professional photographs done? And if they say they can't do that, then fire them. Listen, I've had said this for years, you hire me, you fire me. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for anyone to be locked in and trapped into a long listing agreement. That's why I always tell people, when in doubt, you hire me, you fire me. If I'm not pleasing you, then Lord forbid, let me know, send me a text, we'll take it off the market. There's no harm and no foul. You'll catch a whole lot more flies with honey than with vinegar. Don't make people mad and upset. If you're a real estate agent, say next and move on. They'll be glad you did, and they may refer you business. You just never know. That's the point that I'm trying to make. So we touched on price, we touched on condition, we touched on terms, the agent you select, and of course location. We can't do a whole lot about that. But it's so important to realize this, and I'm glad you're just cruising around, Mimi. I get tired of just sitting. You know, these agents sit behind a desk, and I do too sometimes, but I tell you, money's made to be moved, you know? Price, condition, terms, location, agents that you select. And if you're a real estate agent, you got to give sellers feedback. I can't tell you, if you're a homeowner out there, you've ever had your house on the market or you have your house currently on the market, give me a thumbs up. Say, I've never heard from my agent, didn't give them feedback. Listen, real estate agents, every time there's a showing, give them feedback. If you don't have time to do the feedback, then hire somebody, hire a virtual assistant. But I'm going to tell you, we all have time. We can make excuses or we can make money, but we have time. We simply have time. Because if you wake up in the morning at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and you don't go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, well, if you want to get ahead in life when it comes to selling real estate and pleasing customers, then you got to turn off the TV, put the phone down, not look at TikTok, Facebook, hell, even watching videos like this, because you got to make sure the customer's happy first. If the customer is happy, your business will grow. There's a big reason why I've sold over 4,000 homes is because, and maybe you're out there and you're watching this and you're like, well, I was a customer Wayne in Tennessee, I was a customer Wayne in Nashville, I was a customer Wayne in Louisiana. I was a customer Wayne because I reached out to him and he connected me with an agent. So I always tell folks too, listen, if you can see my face and you can hear my voice, we can sell your house. We have a huge connection with agents in every city, every county, every parish, all across the country, every state. We make it simple, we make it fast, because if you're a homeowner, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, but you want your home sold for the most amount of money and the shortest amount of time on the market with the least amount of stress and hassle. It's just that simple. And if you're a real estate agent, you want to sell the house as fast as possible for the most amount of money because you're strictly commission with the least amount of stress and hassle. So much of life is that. It's customer, it's client, it's relationships, it's companies. It doesn't matter. I always tell folks, you know, you don't really know good service until you get it. If you've never had really good service, like if you've always eaten at an average steakhouse and all of a sudden you go to Fleming's or you go to Ruth's Chris, you'll agree that, wow, that service was amazing. That food was amazing. And that's the way everything should be. I'm really hard to please personally, because I just think if I'm gonna pay somebody $6, $8, $10, $12, $30,000, $50,000, $70,000, then I need them to show me, help me, be with me, give me information, give me feedback. What do I need to do? Because I need to feel like when that money is subtracted from my net proceeds at closing, that I at the very least feel like, yes, I got my money's worth. They did a good job. So listen, if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll do everything within our power to make sure you're happy when it comes to connecting with our clients, our agents, and most importantly, if you're a seller out there, it's really simple. Price it right, make that thing as clean and neat as possible, declutter the stuff, not a whole lot on the kitchen countertops, look at the terms, anything you can do to make that house look the most appealing. And hire an agent that's gonna promote your property like crazy. Everybody's inside their phones. And so I can't emphasize enough the importance of Facebook and videos and TikTok and all of this stuff, because we're in an information world, and our information right now is all in the hands of our phones. So thank you for watching. Hope you're having a good day, and God bless you.